Hey y'all, welcome back to DC Motorworks, where today we're going to show you how to save over $5,000 fixing this here Ferrari. Let's get started. So here we have a 2015 Ferrari California T. So this is actually the later production of the California, the T standing for turbo. So this is the twin turbocharged V8, whereas the earlier editions of this California were naturally aspirated. But client called us this week, said my Ferrari won't go into gear, it only goes into reverse, in a panic that it's going to be a super expensive repair. So we got it here, and come to find out there is a pretty inexpensive fix for this repair that's going to save our client here over $5,000. So let's show you what we found. So we'll go ahead and start up the car here, show you what it does. So key on, foot on the brake. Hit the steering wheel mounted start button. You can see here we're in park. If I pull the forward paddle, nothing happens. If I come down here in the center console, hit reverse, you can see that works properly. See, our auto function switches between auto and manual, and our launch control or sport start button also works. But no matter what we do, get no response from the paddles. And in order to get back in park, you have to put the car off, remove the key from the ignition, and it'll automatically go back into park. But if you look here, you can hear the difference when I pull the up paddle compared to when the down paddle. You can hear that one has a much more positive click, whereas this one, it just feels like you're just moving the paddle and nothing's happening. We were able to confirm this with our Autel, which I'll show you real quick. So this is our Autel MS908. It's one of the very high-end Autel products. I think there's one level above this that we didn't purchase. But it is great for most vehicles. See here, there's all kinds of different options. So we use this for most things unless we have a specific scan tool for them, like on the Lamborghinis and the Mercedes. But we'll plug this in and show you what we did to diagnose this, and then we'll get into the fix. So first step is going to be to plug your multiplexer into the OBD connector, which is right here up under the dash. Get a confirmation beep from there. Pull up our Autel. This has the nice feature of being able to hang out right there on the steering wheel. You'll do key on. Get the secondary beep there. And you can see here, it'll automatically read the VIN to check the vehicle. So we're going to go to our diagnosis there. Automatically brings up Ferrari. We're just going to type in California, and this is a California T, as I mentioned before. It does want to be connected to the internet. We're going to go straight to our control units and into our transmission. We're going to go to live data. And this will give you all of your data that you're looking for. So I'm going to click all the switches here. That's what we did. If I show just I can pick just those selected ones. What I can do here, see, our first one is the auto manual switch, which is here in the center console. You can see it recognizes that. Our launch button right below it, that's recognized. Our down paddle. We got our reverse button. But our up paddle never sees any response. That's how we knew we've got a problem with this paddle. So our next step is going to be remove the steering wheel to get access to the paddles. So let's go ahead and get that done. So what you're going to need for this is a security Torx bit. What makes that special is it's got the recess hole in the middle there. This is a T30. See, once you have both of those removed, and they will stay in the steering wheel, gives you access to your airbag cover. Just pull those two safety clips, and these will both pop right out. Set your airbag aside. That'll give you access to your steering wheel fastener, which in this case is a 10mm Allen or hex. Go ahead and grab that. So you just want to make sure that's fully seated. Comes right out. I like to make sure, just leave a few threads on there so that when you go to break it loose, which this one came right off, that you don't tug too hard and hit yourself in the face. So that comes right out. See, it's got a little thread locker on there. So we'll make sure to reinstall some when we put this back on. See, this one does have alignment marks, but just in case, I like to make sure it's nice and straight. And if you like, you can grab like a Sharpie and mark this, so we will do that. So we'll just make a mark here, right at the bottom. It's just so you can get that right back in place. Just one extra harness to unplug that you need to feed through the steering wheel. Comes right out. Just have to feed that all through one at a time. That's for your clock spring. Steering wheel's out. Can set it aside. Then our next step is going to be removing this lower panel. You see here, you can get a close look at our failure. Try and get the lighting just right. See, something looks off from this side already. If I pull this paddle, you can see that plastic piece is just floating around in there, not actually actuating anything. Whereas if I pull the downshift paddle, you can see that's pivoting and actuating the switch like it's supposed to. That's our failure. It's just this little tiny plastic pivot point right here. So here I've got the two pieces. This is from the down paddle. You can see this cylinder piece is in shape. That's the pivot point. I don't lose it. This is the up paddle, which you can see is broken there. If you notice on our new part how much thicker they made that pivot point in order to prevent this failure in the future. You see the spring just sits right there. So now I've got both pivots installed with their springs. I'll put the retaining plate back on. Which can be a little fiddly. As you try to keep everything retained in place. So with the retaining plate back on, see we have the same click noise, and you can see both pivots actuating like they're supposed to. So now we're clear to put this back together. Now that everything's together, we can function test our repair. Key on. Goes right into gear. Pull both, goes into neutral. Go from reverse, back into drive. We're ready to go. It's a job done. So it's the next morning now. Test drove this one last night. Everything was working properly. And now we're ready to give it back to the customer and give him the good news of how much money we saved him. Thank you all for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.